Ladies and gentlemen, what is up and welcome back to the channel. So earlier on the channel today, we did a video having a look at the early Datamined abilities for Bishop, and Bishop looks really interesting, tons of utility, quite a complicated character potentially, but I'm very excited for Bishop. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a look at the early Datamined abilities for Sabretooth, who looks significantly simpler, but simultaneously like he is going to be a very useful character. So I'm very excited to kind of dive into some of the stuff that you can do today and start, you know, a little bit of theory crafting here. But before we get into that, I want to give a massive shout out to the person who put this document together. So it's JJW from the Unofficial MCOC Podcast. What a lad is all I can say. Absolutely great guy. They do a really good podcast, man. I listen to the majority of episodes kind of, you know, while I'm doing my morning grind and stuff. So if you want to give them a listen, give them a little bit of love, guys. It's in the description below to their Discord. Go over there, tell them Seatin sent ya, and big up. That's pretty much it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, now that we've got that out of the way, let's get cracking with Sabretooth and some of the abilities here. And the very first thing is already gonna have those hype sensors tingling, boys, because Sabretooth, he is cold immune, which means that he's immune to cold damage like cold snap and also frostbite on Iceman. So we now have another champion that is fully immune to both of the effects that make Iceman. It's mainly like the cold snap at the start that's really annoying against kind of stacked Icemen, but I'm glad that they're adding more characters with full immunity. And Sabretooth actually doesn't have any bleed effects at all, so he's not super gimp like Mephisto is, because you can't incinerate Iceman, so Mephisto loses quite a lot of damage. But I think Sabretooth, I don't think he's going to be too gimped in the Iceman match, which is good. I'm really looking forward to seeing kind of how he performs against Iceman there, but that is the first thing. Now, his kind of core mechanic seems to operate around Fury buffs. He gains kind of temporary ones, which he can convert to permanent ones that can transfer over from fight to fight, but there's a certain cap on them. So yeah, we'll explain how that goes as we move along. So essentially, for every certain amount of hits on the combo meter, Sabretooth gains a Fury buff. However, if you're fighting against a skill champion, he's also going to inflict an armor break as well. So this seems something that they're kind of pushing like this month as well as a bit more of a class-defining champions and making like champions that have a good advantage against another class just even better. So this seems like it could be really good for matchups like Black Panther Civil War, or just generally increasing damage even more against skill champions. So that's really cool additional mechanic there. So yeah, he's just gonna constantly gain Fury and armor break. Constantly gain Fury in every matchup, but if you're fighting skill champion, you get the armor break as well for every certain amount of hits on the combo meter. So I imagine this one being on a limited time frame as well is gonna reward you quite nicely from playing aggressively. And then there's a second line which is pretty much all the same, and then there's a line being like Fury increases attack rating, which pretty much all of us know at this point. So every fight, Sabretooth can convert a certain amount of Fury stacks that he gains, you know, just from his standard combos and various abilities into permanent Fury passives. However, that's capped per fight, and there are ways for him to transfer the permanent ones from fight to fight. So I would assume it kind of works in a way that maybe the cap's something like 10, for example, and every fight you can gain like 2 additional permanent Fury buffs. So as you move from fight to fight, the damage keeps on ramping up. So kind of think of a bit of a Morning Star style mechanic, but instead of souls, you have these permanent Fury effects. So that's something to keep in mind, where you can only gain a certain amount of them every single fight. And yeah, there is a cap on them. We don't really know what that cap is, or how many you can get every single fight. But there are ways to convert, you know, the Fury that you get from just the standard combo, and the first one is dodging back and allowing Sabretooth to idle for a certain amount of seconds. So I assume this is like Stark Spider-Man, if you are used to kind of like idling back to refresh the taunt. You know, if you stay still, I believe it's like for 2 seconds or something, he kind of wags his finger and that'll kind of refresh the taunt on the enemy, which is incredibly effective when you have him awakened and the taunt duration is increased. So yeah, I assume one of the ways is going to be a mechanic that operates in that kind of style if you're familiar with how Stark Enhanced Spider-Man works. And at the start of the fight, if Sabretooth has a certain value of persistent charges, he will randomly receive between a certain amount and a certain amount of persistent charges. So I think, like, the persistent charge mechanic and how many fury effects you get, it could possibly be random, judging from the way that this is read, but I really hope it isn't. So let's, you know, we'll have to see how that operates, but one of the things that we can be almost certain of is that there is going to be a way for Furies to transfer over from fight to fight. So that's a bit of an interesting one, but again, it depends how powerful these Fury effects are. They could be something like 5%, they could be something like 100% per Fury. So yeah, we're going to have to see how powerful that is and how much that is going to impact the character's overall damage output. And next up we have Accelerated Healing fights foreign chemicals, regenerating a certain health per second while a poison is active. So while poison is active, you get a little bit of regeneration. The question is it going to be enough regeneration to cover the poison? I assume because this character is not fully poison immune, it's not going to be a full immunity, so it's going to be a partial counter to that, which, you know, that's certainly a nice mechanic to have, but full poison immunity would be nice, unless you heal for more damage than you take, which would be really, really great to see. But, you know, we'll see what happens there. And when we have, let's talk about the special attacks next, man, because there's some pretty cool stuff here. The special one we have Bloodthirsty, so Sabretooth ferociously jumps toward the opponent to unleash a series of vicious claw attacks, and this will convert his temporary fury buffs into a permanent passive fury effect. So essentially, if you don't like, you know, going back and idling, there is a way to do that via the special one, to convert those temporary furies that you get from ramping up your combo into a permanent fury effect. So that's pretty cool. And the special 2, we got Ferocious Throw, and this description, man, it seems pretty interesting. Sabretooth throws boulders at the opponent before pouncing forward for the knockdown. So yeah, I'm interested to see where he's gonna get those boulders from, man. Like, that's gonna be an interesting one. Just gonna rip him up from the ground. But yeah, I'm sure that's gonna be a very, very fun animation. And it also activates a fury effect and immediately converts it into a passive effect, increasing attack rating permanently. And then special 3 is Hunter's Onslaught, so Sabretooth's viciousness does not stop when the opponent is down, it stops when they are defeated. Gain a fury buff, increasing attack rating. So yeah, I'm not too sure if that's going to be like a mega fury effect or anything, but as you can see, it seems pretty simple with Sabretooth. It's just all about, like, get the fury, convert it. So yeah, significantly easier to understand, at least in my opinion, in comparison to Bishop there. But we also have the signature ability of Sabretooth. So Sabretooth gains passive regeneration stacks when struck by the opponent. So they recover a certain percentage of the damage taken from the hit over a certain amount of seconds, and is interrupted. The heal, guys, wait for it, it's interrupted if Sabretooth is heal blocked. I found it super funny that line was in the game. I don't know, man, maybe it's just really stupid, but I found that quite amusing. But yeah, you can interrupt, guys. Pro tip, you can interrupt regeneration by heal blocking the opponent. The more you know, ladies and gentlemen, the more you know. But if Sabretooth does not get hit or struck by the opponent for more than a certain amount of seconds, he starts losing regeneration stacks over time. So yeah, I think Guillotine, I don't know, might potentially be very, very good against Sabretooth if this keeps on stacking up, which I assume it will, and depending on the potency of it, Guillotine might be a next month MVP. But I think with what we have seen from Bishop, and also what we're seeing from Sabretooth, I feel like Yondu and Doc Ock, man, they're gonna have so much value next month. You get the heal block on either one of them, and the Doc Ock Arena, man, it's been removed this weekend from the Hello one. So yeah, Doc Ock, man, I think he's gonna be a big time MVP come next month, and also Yondu. but we'll have to see on that one. But yeah, also Fury and Regeneration effects receive a permanent plus flat ability accuracy. So yeah, I'm not too sure exactly how that's going to work or exactly what that affects there, but you know, could be potentially beneficial, but it doesn't look like for the beast mode damage. This looks like it's only going to be good, really for defense. And there's not really too much to indicate that Sabretooth is a crazy good defender here. So it looks like he could be a champion that you just pull from a crystal, and without having to be awakened, he's already like a sick beast of a champion. And you've got all the damage you need for stuff in the future. So yeah, I kind of like that. The signature ability doesn't seem too insane. Now, JJW in his data mining, he couldn't find any champion synergies for Sabretooth. However, Otriux found some Synergies and posted them to Reddit, or Otos on Reddit, as I believe he's called on there. Now, I take all of these with a pinch of salt, because again, I'm not well. They all seem fairly reasonable synergies, but again, there's a little bit of information missing here and there. So the first one apparently is Sabretooth, Bloodlust with Black Panthers and Killmonger. So the thing that Sabretooth gets is inflicting a debuff reduces the opponent's ability accuracy by 100% for 0.7 seconds. So yeah, I'm not too sure how that is, but this is apparently a tiered synergy, so this could be useful in combination with his armor break, in combination with stuff like parry, if it is true, and also Black Panthers and Killmonger gain an additional power rate for hitting opponents that are suffering from a debuff, which is great for pretty much all of them, to be honest, if that's true. That could be very, very nice for Killmonger. And there's one Decimation with Magneto and Scarlet Witch, and it's only got the info here for Sabretooth, who is apparently going to start the fight with a Fury buff against mutant champions, granting additional attack rating. So yeah, just starts with additional Fury against mutants, which could be quite good there. And then there's finally one with Old Man Logan, which has a 20% chance for Sabretooth for his low kick first medium attack to be unblockable. Additionally, the opponent activates an unstoppable effect as a result of this attack. It expires instantly. If the opponent activates an unstoppable effect as a result of this attack, it expires instantly. So yeah, that's a bit of an interesting one there in terms of its interaction, but you know, it potentially gives Sabretooth a way with that Old Man Logan synergy to kick down somebody's block and totally break it on the first medium. So potentially, I don't know, that could be useful in some kind of circumstance. But the one I'm interested in seeing the rate on is with Old Man Logan. Percentage increased regeneration rate while Old Man Logan is hitting the opponent. So yeah, Old Man Logan's regeneration, it was really, really bad before 12.0. It's all right now, but it's still very much behind like X-23 and Wolverine. So I'm interested to see if that's going to be like plus 400% regeneration when you're attacking the opponent. Maybe it's going to make Old Man Logan really, really good. I do not know, ladies and gentlemen, but it could. I don't know. It has a little bit of potential there. But all of these synergies, they seem fairly reasonable, and Altos on Reddit has always had some reliable data mined info. So we're going to have to see, lads. We are going to have to see. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, what do you think of Sabretooth? Is he going to be the next God tier champion? Are the Furies going to be strong enough? I do not know. Like, he doesn't have a crazy amount of utility going on for him. He's got the immunity to Iceman, which is super good. Got a little bit of armor break against skill champions. A little bit of way to combat poison. Like, he's got a few things. But I must admit, out of the two, I'm a little bit more hyped for Bishop. I feel like Bishop has a bit more potential, but I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know what you think of both of the new champions in the comments below, guys. Are you Team Sabretooth? Are you Team Bishop? Which one are you hyping up? Let me know. But apart from that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the video today. If you did enjoy it, feel free to smash that like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Apart from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.